Let's work. Turn it down and listen to the experts. Gotta give a shout to the Talking Junk Network. Showing love, hosting battles, playing dope joints. The break room topics always staying on point. Never disappoint. We'll never need a makeover. We here for the takeover like Jehovah. Talking Junk break room takeover on the podcast. Dropping bomb facts on demand like Comcast. Now drop a comment whenever they're going live. Hit the YouTube channel right now and go subscribe. Peace.
Talking Junk Network,
where entertainment lives.
Welcome to Talking Junk.
I'm your host, Jason Melendez.
Live now every week.
Talking Junk.
A multitude of professionals in different aspects, different walks of life.
You have to come on and talk junk like a normal person.
Let me tell you guys about these new Dizzle edibles. Now, I know you probably heard of the drink, and just like the drink, these edibles are the truth. I'm typically a smoker, and I usually like to do it before I drive to take some of the angst off this LA traffic. But with these edibles, I don't even think about rolling up. I don't have to worry about the aroma when I get out of the car, my eyes being red. I just pop in one and I'm good to go. I'm feeling happy and ready to just take on my day. Each edible comes with 25 milligrams. You get 10 in a package, which is more than enough because, again, all you need is one and it'll get you right.
It's time for all things cereal, games with cereal. We try cereal and we let you know. So if you love cereal, we love cereal. Super cereal.
We're giving away 1,000 bottles of syrup. If you go to the syrup store at syrup.com and put in the discount code free bottles TikTok, then you can receive a free bottle of syrup. Just pay for shipping. Very easy. We're going to do the first 1,000 bottles.
Welcome to Talking Junk, the podcast that comes to you live every Friday night. Every Friday night, new guest, new topic, new great story that you get to witness. Here tonight, we got another great guest. His name is Eli Halpern. We are going to bring him on because this man is into an array of things. He just got done doing a comedy set, and now he's going to grace us with his presence. So let's give him a round of applause. Where is my round of applause? There it is. Eli, how you doing tonight?
Oh, hell yeah. I love digital audiences.
All right. Settle down.
Yeah, how did you people get into my house? Dude, that was a hard-ass intro. I like that intro a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. You should see our other show, our late show intro. That one, it blows the walls off. So where are you coming from right now? Where are you talking to us from?
So I'm in Austin, Texas.
And you live in Austin, or are you just doing sets out there?
No, I live out here, man. My whole life's out here. I love it here. It's 101 degrees right now, though. That's not ideal, but worth it.
Right. I mean, it's not too far off here in Florida either, so I understand. How did you get into comedy?
Man, I was probably about 18 when I realized that I wanted to. And then I didn't actually move forward with it till I was 22. I just always liked making people laugh. And I found it was my easiest way to relate to people, I guess. And I just found myself writing jokes just for fun. And like I would kind of like when I would go to meet up with my friends, I would like have an opener ready, you know? And then I just kind of took that to the stage, and it's great, man, because comedy's alchemy. It's turning bad into good. It's
right.
It's therapeutic on many levels. I just had a great set, and I feel pretty good right now.
Got it. There's no coming down from that high.
It is. It's like it's an addiction, really, because you got to keep getting those laughs, and then you don't one day, and your withdrawals, and you're like, nothing matters. Everything's just spiraling downhill.
So what's your comedy style? I know a lot of guys like to go out there and they have their pre-written set, and they know which one they want to use. If it goes south, they can swerve and get another set going. Or are you one of those freestyle comedians, picking somebody in the audience, start a little comedy set off of them, switch to maybe another topic, and then move on to another audience member?
No, I'm not a huge fan of crowd work. Well, doing it. I appreciate when other people do it if it's funny, but I did do some crowd work tonight, though, but it was a situation to where they were talking audibly and I could hear them. So it would have been weird if I ignored them. You know, I don't seek out interacting with the audience, but the times I've had to address it, it's worked out for me pretty well. So I was actually thinking on the drive home that I should be doing more of that, just to try to test myself. But I mean, my subject matter is pretty dark and offensive. I do a lot of jokes about drugs because I used to do a lot of psychedelics, and they, expanded my mind or whatever. And I'm sober now. I do occasional edibles, so I'm not sober. I just lied. But I was completely sober from everything for like 4 months. And then about a month and a half ago, I was
what kind of edibles?
Delta 9, which is basically like regular edibles. Is that your sponsor?
Yes, sir. Let me get this light off because it's glaring. It's glaring. Let me get this off. God damn it. All right. Well, while I have technical difficulties, why don't you tell us? Come on, focus. There we go.
Yeah, edibles are cool because they're legal. There was a
completely. You can buy these things at a gas station.
Yeah, there's like a loophole in the Farm Bill Act of 2018, I think, that made it legal to consume edible THC products as long as it was less than 0.3% of the mass. Which when they wrote the bill, they meant like 0.3% of the plant, but it translated over to edibles. So you could just, if you make the edible big enough, you could just fit enough THC in there.
Well, it's Delta 8.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Delta 9.
Right.
So Delta 9 is literally weed. Like in nature, THC is Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol. And that's what Delta 9 is. So it's the same thing. It's not even like a version off. Because I don't like Delta 8 because I don't know how it's made, but I don't like how it feels. Makes me feel groggy and nervous.
Right. I got you. So do you are edibles the only thing that you're doing at the moment? What type of psychedelics did you do in the past, if you don't mind indulging?
So I did DMT about 30. I did DMT about 100 times in 30 days. And that was a lot. I've done mushrooms, acid, DMT, ketamine, and a lot of all of them, like an insane amount. And
what was the craziest trip you've ever had? Was it on DMT?
Yeah. The most notable trip was probably my first time doing DMT. At this point, let's see, I'm like 19 in college, and I was a lifelong atheist at that point. Like both of my grandmas died within the same 6 months when I was like 4 years old, and then I was like, "There is no God."
6 months, damn.
So I was from age 4. I was like, "There's no God," and then I did DMT at 19, and I blasted off. I look back down at myself, and I'm just in space. So I'm looking down at the Earth, and I see the planet, and it's rotating, and then I see this like electrical current circling the planet, and I zoom in and I become that electrical current. And it's like a stream of consciousness because now my vision is like ping-ponging from to and from different people around the earth. So like 1 second I'm like a rice farmer in China, and then next I'm in the Middle East holding a baby, and then I'm like an Indian man. Like I'm all these different people. And geographically it was nighttime where I was in Santa Barbara, and it was daytime on the other side of the planet. So when I came back from that, this whole thing was like maybe 7 minutes. And my whole impression was that actually happened. And I did just like hijack other people's consciousnesses for a moment. And I did DMT a bunch more times. And then I was convinced that there's a God. And I've seen him. I've seen him with my own eyes. With my own 3 eyes, I've seen God. So I am no longer an atheist.
Okay. So do you subscribe to any religious affiliation now? Or you just know that there's a higher power?
I believe the most accurate historical documents are in the Sumerian tablets.
Okay.
Where it tells the story of 7 members of the Anunnaki that came to Earth and genetically modified humans to be a slave race. Because it makes sense. Like if you've never heard about it, you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But once you start delving into it, you're like, okay, this tracks. Because everything that was happening then is happening now. Like we're all being used as like essentially forced labor.
Right. This is all an experiment. Literally.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I used to think that like lizard people was a joke. And now we got a gay crackhead Obama, and like I don't know if that's true, but like it would make sense. The Democratic Party is super pro-gay. It would make sense if the Democratic presidents were also gay.
Of course it would. I mean, everybody somewhere in the hierarchy has seen one up close. I'm telling you.
But that's another reason why I stopped doing psychedelics. Because I was like MK Ultraing myself. I was taking all these psychedelics and looking into all the stuff the government was doing, and I was just freaking out. And it was doing nothing for me. It was getting me nowhere. It was just causing me a lot of existential dread.
That sounds like my Friday night without the psychedelics.
And that combined with the fact that I was just like, oh, dude, I'm like always high and tripping. And I'm like afraid not to be. That's kind of weak. Like as a man, I should be able to just face reality sober. So once I had that thought, I like snapped and I was like, I'm sober now. I'm not doing drugs anymore. I don't need them. And it was a good 4 months. And then, the edibles started creeping back in, but nothing else, just edibles. Which no one cares about. No one cares about it either. I'm like, oh yeah, I fucked up, dude. I relapsed. I started doing weed again. And they're like, no, that doesn't matter. It's like,
it's like smoking a cigarette. Back in the 90s, at least, because cigarettes now are fucking death.
It's like that scene in Half Baked where the Bob Saget is like, weed is not a drug. You ever suck dick for weed? I suck dick for crack or whatever.
You are hitting all the notes that my guys on the next show would love. They'll eat it all up. I'm telling you, especially that Bob Saget shit.
I'll tell you this because I feel like you'll appreciate this for some reason. So I'm big into music. I don't know. You can see I got instruments back here and stuff. I got three rap albums on Spotify under the name Brody Lowballer also, which they're something. But
under what?
Brody Lowballer. So I got all of my musical inspiration from looking up the soundtrack to Half Baked on LimeWire. And that's how I found out about De La Soul and Farside and Tribe Called Quest. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
Listen, I grew up in the Bronx, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, East Coast hip hop. That was my shit. That like completely influenced who I am now. And
all right, what was your name on Spotify? Because I am on Spotify.
Brody Lowballer.
Brody Lowballer.
Yeah, one day I was just on a bunch of mushrooms and I was just like, I'm going to be a rapper. And then I just started recording wild stuff. That's how a lot of my stories start, man. Like a lot of stuff is just me taking some kind of drug and then doing something really like productive, like not something just crazy, like ripping a urinal out of a wall or something. Like I actually like build things. So that's why it was hard for me to go sober.
With Liam Neeson. All right. I'm gonna have to listen to these. We'll see if we play one at the end of the show. So what are you into these days now, man? Are you still rapping? Obviously, you're still doing comedy, but you got a new venture. We'll get into in just a second. Was this rap thing just a little side gig, or do you plan on recording more music? Maybe a rock album, or what else? What other kinds of music you into?
Yeah, I have goals to drop different types of albums, and I'm thinking like guitar type stuff where I just throw like a drum track on GarageBand and then play over it. And
well, I'm tell you now, you kind of look like a country man. I want to hear you play some of them country tunes, slapping on that banjo over there.
You're too good at that. Stop.
I'm sorry. It's a habit. It's a force of habit.
That's good. You should do the whole podcast like that.
I've been told I should. Sometimes I get a little bit of this dizzle in me here. And I don't know how to act.
You sound like Barry White supremacist.
I don't think my Puerto Rican ancestors would like that.
Do you know who Louis J. Gomez is?
I do not.
He's a Puerto Rican comic. He was just in town. I don't know.
All right.
I thought you guys might all know each other.
No, thank you though. I love that. No, we don't. Some believe it or not, some of us Puerto Ricans are pricks.
Yeah, that's kind of what he was saying.
So, fuck Golden Cricket, huh? I might get in trouble for my sponsor, but fuck it. When did you get into Golden Cricket?
So about 2 years ago, I had this idea. Well, no, 8 years ago, I was in Thailand and I ate a scorpion and it was barbecued and it was delicious. And then I did some research and it turns out like insects are super nutritious and sustainable. And I did some research and it was just a belief I held. I was like, oh, we should all be eating bugs, but I wasn't going to do anything about it. It was just a belief I held until years later. I just found myself in a situation where I had already built businesses and stuff before, and I wanted to just create something new and groundbreaking and revolutionary and something that would kind of market itself. Like when you find out about it, you're like, that's weird. I'm going to tell other people about this. And so the idea was insect protein bar, because I was thinking of why is eating a steak not gross, but eating a cow is? And I was like, well, it's the way it's prepared. So I'm like, how do I properly prepare insects? Well, if I just grind them up into a powder, then I can like hide them in any type of food.
Now that's just the psychedelic man in you thinking.
Yeah, well, there was psychedelics involved in this.
See, I believe you because that's the easiest way to grind up. To eat your mushrooms, grind them up and stick them in something.
Yeah, well, I was on ketamine at the time, and I heard crickets all around me, and then I just tapped into this. I literally felt like I got just beamed with this whole idea at once, and it took me like a couple of weeks to unpack, and I have a martial arts team out here, and like, what's the worst thing you can have when in the audience when you're doing comedy? Crickets. So I'll kill them all and turn them into food. And then we got the toughest guys in the state beating people up at MMA events. They're eating my protein product, so I'm sponsoring them. So it's both like I'm able to put money in the pockets of like my training partners and other comedians and people in my community, and I can also garner attention for my business. So my long-term goal is to be able to make enough money to where I can give other people around me opportunities.
Sorry about that. So I just got distracted there. So I had a phone call, had to pass it to my producer. Sorry about that. Now, this here sounds amazing. Now, my kids will laugh if they come and take a look at this episode or they stumble upon it in the archives. We went on a road trip, and as a kid, I ate I think it was a sour cream and onion cricket. It tasted all right. So I went on a road trip, and they had crickets there, but they didn't have the ones that I ate before. So I tried to eat some for my kids, and it went disastrous. So these things here are very appealing.
They really are good, man. Like, we give a lot of samples out, and we have a lot of people try them, and people love talking shit. And sometimes people will hate on the idea of the company and be like, bugs are gross, I'm not eating bugs. And like, okay, that's fine. But everyone who tastes it is like, this is actually really good. And I formulate it as a snack that I could eat a lot of when I have the munchies and not feel guilty about. So it's healthy. It's healthy. It tastes good. It's weird. Join the revolution. Although,
I mean, it sounds interesting, to say the least. Like, there are people there that eat bugs whole, you know what I mean? Raw. So why not just eat these shits in a fucking chocolate bar? You're getting everything you need. Better crickets. Penny H says it's tasty, sustainable, and super good. Super good for the body. She can't complain. It's a must try. And Sheldon over here said, I never thought a bar with crickets could be so good. I don't know. It looks like he sounds like that. These things are raved about already. Go on Google, do your research, get these crickets inside of you. Now, how you do it, that's not my business. But get these crickets inside of you now. Now. There's only one other protein bar that Talking Junk will get into. Only one, okay? Besides Golden Cricket. And that's a cue right there for my producers to say, here's a word from our sponsors.
Me and my team, whenever we link up, they wanna be drink up. We sit down and relax and have few glasses when there's things to think about. Like I'm nice with the boss when I tend to the bars and I'm not talking drink ups. So tell the bartender that tend to the bar to please pass me a big cup up. And tell that waitress is waiting on us to put a little ice in it. Now watch the ice become weightless like the spaceships that I be sitting in. No wait and listen, no, they're waiting for that tropical twist that'll kick and get taste buds. Now taste some. Yo, I insist it's the drizzle.
Ah, yes. Excalibur is for my vegan viewers. But for my meat eaters, get you a bar of Golden Cricket now, damn it. Now.
Yeah, so, whoa, dude, I sound like a robot. My audio's all fucked.
It doesn't sound like that here.
Oh, that's because I clicked on GarageBand and that has an effect on a guitar I was using. Never mind. Okay, so crickets are 65% protein by weight. They contain all 9 essential amino acids. They use 2,000 times less water to produce than whey protein. They're high in calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, potassium, omega-3, omega-6, vitamin B12. They're a natural prebiotic, and it's okay to kill them because they're just crickets.
Yeah, because you buy them anyway to feed your fucking insects or your fucking reptiles.
There's actually less net death from farming crickets, because if you kill 1,000 crickets, 1,000 crickets just died, right? That 1-to-1. But if you kill like several acres of corn or tomatoes or whatever, you're killing every mammal that's in there in that field, like squirrels and foxes and whatever. Not to mention how many other insects, and they're covered in pesticides. There's obviously no pesticides in crickets that would kill them. So
exactly.
In the grand scheme of things, it's actually more animal friendly to eat crickets.
And you got to get the merch. Look at the merch. You got to rep what you eat. You are what you eat. Golden cricket. Now, you mentioned you have some MMA fighters under your belt. Any notable MMA fighters?
What do you mean under my belt?
You said you sponsor them. You know.
Oh, just guys at my gym. There, okay. You're gonna know a number of names from my gym in a few years max. I'm sure there's a lot of good talent. I train at 10th Planet ATX.
Good. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, excuse me. I feel like I'm a little off my game tonight, so excuse me. I will have to have you back on so we can vibe a little more, or I'll give you that after. What are you into now? Right? What kind of are you going on tour with your comedy? Are you trying to go on tour with Golden Cricket? Because I see you're mostly based in Texas here, on the Golden Cricket Where to Buy list.
I mean, lately, the last several years, I've just been chilling, trying to grow an empire and just stay put. Because I've spent until I moved here, until age 26, I was like in a different city every week. I was all over the world. I was traveling. I was like borderline homeless, living out of my trunk by choice, sleeping on couches, because I was doing e-commerce. So everything, I just, pull up my laptop and tap away wherever there's Wi-Fi. And I just kind of liked keeping it moving. But I had no real roots anywhere. I didn't have like out here, I'll go to the coffee shop and I'll know the person and they'll be like, hi, how's it going? And that's nice. I like that now. So
normality, routine.
Well, I just like being like part of a community, I guess.
It's out of your norm. That's why you're getting older, you're growing up.
Yeah.
Stabilization.
I mean, when I was younger too, I used to drink a lot and that would cause problems. So I just go around pissing people off, and I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank really. I've drank a few times, but I called it off about 3 years ago.
So maybe no Dizzle for you.
No. Unless that they make edibles and liquor.
Oh yeah.
And you said it's Delta 8, not 9?
Yeah, it's Delta 8.
Okay.
Not bad. I've heard.
Dude, I don't even like being high. I just get bored. I'll have like 3 hours where I have nothing to do and I won't know what to do to fill my time. So I'll just get super high. And then like an hour after that, people will hit me up and I'll just be like, oh man,
I can't do shit now, dude. I'm a little too fucking stoned here. Yeah, no, I get it. But I get it. Now, you mentioned that you just started getting back into it. For a man that's done the dictionary of psychedelics, it must feel good to eat an edible or smoke a joint and be on the level that you need to be without getting into the alcohol and the psychedelics. Is there anything that you want to say to a recovering addict that may be weary of the old terms gateway drug?
Yeah, I think like I said earlier, I don't think I'm sober right now. Everyone else thinks it's not a problem. I think it's a problem. If you're a recovering addict and you're completely sober right now, fucking stay that way for the rest of your life. Life is better sober. I feel bad about the fact that I started doing weed again. But also like not bad enough to where I'm going to stop soon. I will stop again, but like not yet.
Do you find it hinders your comedic talent to stop?
Yes, absolutely. Being sober made me a lot less funny. Like for sure. And it sucks to say that. And when I started comedy, I only did it drunk for a year and a half. I would like pregame to go do 3 minutes at an open mic. It was stupid. But it wasn't until a year and a half. There was an open mic going on. I was driving by, living in LA. My first thought is like, oh, open mic. I can't do that. I'm not drunk. I'm not going to be funny if I'm sober. But I didn't have time to do that. So I just pulled over and went in and I was like, this is going to suck. And I crushed. And a bunch of people shook my hand after and were like, that was great, man. I was underestimated also because I was just like a skinny white.
You had that amount of fucking in your system that just gave you the leeway to do what you needed to do to win them over. Or you all were fucking drunk and it was horrible.
Yeah. So after that performance, I was like, oh, I'm never drinking before I get on stage again. And then within a month, I got booked on my first show. I stopped having to look at my notes because I remembered them. And I was like, wow, I wasted a year and a half just doing this drunk. But being high on stage helps. Being on mushrooms on stage is a lot of fun. It depends on the amount.
It would seem daunting to me. A little.
I don't know anyone else
to me.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else that agrees with me on this topic, but I'm telling you that when I take mushrooms and go on stage, it's a lot of fun. I did a show, a packed show on like 3 hits of acid one time. And every other comedian is like, dude, what the fuck?
You're a brave soul. So
I fought a guy in a cage on acid too in Vegas.
Now I'm gonna spitfire some questions for you before we start wrapping this up. Just before we wrap this up, I'm gonna have you plug everything that you need to plug for these viewers out here that are watching here on YouTube live, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X. Is it X now? It's X.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, it is. It is. Or the people listening in the archives. So before we do that, let me just ask you a couple of questions. With comedians getting attacked the way they do, are you afraid to throw out certain jokes?
Yeah, for sure. I still do it though.
Have you ever been attacked?
Almost. This guy like walked right up to the stage once and got real close to me, and then we had a little bit of a stare down. Then he
just probably wanted to kiss you.
And that was my first show. My first show. And then some lady threw ice at me. That was a wild show.
What would you say to an aspiring comedian?
Quit. Do something else.
I don't know how to take that.
Start a fucking business selling crickets. It's easier. It was easier for me to build a company from scratch and raise $150,000 within the first 7 months of launching than it is to get paid to do comedy.
Wow. Do you locally grow your crickets?
No.
Where are they imported from?
Utah. Mark Cuban's company.
Huh. So you're feeding us Cubans, huh? Damn. What was my last question? Where do you see yourself going in the next 10 years, whether it be comedy or cricket?
It's hard to say, man. Just something's going to pop off, and then I'm going to become more of that than the other things.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. Now, before we get out of here, before we pull the plug on this episode, what do you have to say to the viewers out there? Now, you can do whatever you want. You can give them words of wisdom. You can plug and promote everything you need. You could do both, or you could just talk shit, or comedy stylings of Mr. Eli.
Reality is a fractal holographic matrix that you can manipulate with words and actions.
Yes.
You have total control, and it's easy to forget that because the system wants to deprive you of that knowledge. But if you just don't listen to them, you can clearly hear your internal thoughts, which are arguably the voice of God. And life's a video game, man. Just do whatever you want as long as you can handle the consequences and try to help people.
And eat your golden crickets. Thanks a lot, Eli. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. This was a lot of fun, and I should schedule these a little earlier, which I'm probably going to start doing after this. It's an eye opener because I would love to have a little bit more time with you, get into a couple more things, but I have another show starting soon.
Oh, can I plug my stuff now?
Yes, sir.
GoldenCricket.com. Get your cricket protein bars today. Peanut butter, chocolate, banana, and our newest product, a horchata protein powder for smoothies. It's delicious. All of it is.
It
only
sounds
at goldencricket.com. And follow me on Instagram at CricketLordMMA. And our company Instagram is at Golden Cricket Inc. But I post more stuff on mine. All right. Thanks.
Is there anything that you might have forgotten?
No, I think I told you literally everything I know.
Perfect. GoldenCricket.com. Your source for golden cricket protein and horchata. All right. Thanks a lot, Eli. I really appreciate you coming on. We have to do this again. We'll figure something out. Don't go nowhere. Let me just close it out for these guys, and I'll be right back with you. Again, another great guest. I'm not on my game tonight as I wanted to be. Maybe I'm a little intimidated by the comedian. Maybe I ate too much Delta 8. Or maybe I drank too much Dizzle. Nah, I'm lying. It's the work week. I love you guys. Stay tuned. You already know what's coming up. Another great guest next week. Only here on the Talking Junk Network. Be sure to go to goldencricket.com and get your protein today. Love you guys. Peace out!